of Life, a show about Jewish books, music, film, and web. I'm Heidi Estrom. In this fourth episode of interviews from the 2008 Book Expo America Conference, we'll hear about books for youth and adults related to the Holocaust. However, we'll end on an upbeat note because, as luck would have it, I accidentally left out my interview with the Jewish Publication Society from the episode covering adult literature. So we'll cleanse our palates with a non-Holocaust-related interview as we round off the Book Expo series. Next month, we'll return to our regular format of more in-depth interviews. Our theme will be Kalal Yisrael, and we'll talk about inclusiveness in the Jewish community and within Jewish books and music. Speaking of community, I'd really love to have more listeners join me in the online Book of Life community by posting comments on the blog at bookoflifepodcast.com or by emailing me at bookoflifepodcast@gmail.com. I'd also like to get your opinion on the format of the show. Do you like the current format of a half-hour show with several interviews, or would you prefer shorter, single interview episodes? Let me know, again, by email, by posting a comment, or take the short survey on the website at bookoflifepodcast.com. Thanks. Now, back to the expo one more time.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, I'm Margie Wolf, the publisher of Second Story Press. I'm very excited because we have a new book by Kathy Kaser called The Diary of Laura's Twin. Kathy did The Secret of Gabby's Dresser, The Underground Reporters, Hiding Edith, which last year won Book of the Year in Canada. But Diary of Laura's Twin is a wonderful story about a girl in the Warsaw Ghetto and how girl today is twinned with her for her bat mitzvah and begins to learn her story through a diary. It's a beautiful book, and we just launched it at the Wiesenthal Center a couple of months ago, and she will be coming to the States touring with the Diary of Laura's Twin very soon with tons of interest. She's also going to be going with it to Germany, France, Australia, where the book is. All the books have been bought by publishers there, and one of her books is being turned into a movie. So she does a wonderful presentation if anybody's interested in having her, because it's not just a reading. She does a PowerPoint presentation that's truly spectacular. So, and you all know Hannah's Suitcase, and the movie's coming out in the next 6 or 7 months. The play is touring now in the United States and has just finished Chicago and will be coming to Los Angeles and New York and Omaha and all over the place. Anyways, it's a wonderful time for us, and we're very excited about the books.
Which of Kathy Kaser's books is being turned into a movie?
Clara's War and The Underground Reporters is after that.
Oh, wow. Are they documentaries? I mean, I know The Underground Reporters is a nonfiction book. Is it going to be a documentary?
They
or a
are
dramatization?
There's 2 films for Hannah. The first one is a feature-length documentary. The second one will be a dramatic feature film. And
Excellent.
It'll be out in a couple of years.
Oh, that's wonderful.
I'm Jenny Groves, and I'm a publicist for Houghton Mifflin Harcourt, the children's book division. And T4 is a new book by a first-time author named Anne Claire Lazat, and it is the story of a young girl who is growing up during World War II, and she is deaf. And she has to kind of go into hiding because of the T4 program in which the Nazis tried to exterminate people who had handicaps and didn't meet their ideal, the perfect person. It's a free verse novel. It's a short, beautiful little novel. We have some great advanced quotes from Lois Lowry, who wrote Number the Stars, and also from Gregory Maguire, who's the author of Wicked and a number of children's books. And the interesting thing about this book is that the author is deaf herself. So there's certainly an intimacy because as the main character is very close to the author's heart, as it's something she's been through on her own. So it's a beautiful little book.
I I'm Terry Akers. I'm with Other Press, and a couple of our great fall titles coming out are The Road to Rescue by Mia Tech-Kemper, which is the untold story of Schindler's List. It is his memoir, his personal account of how he was involved in developing Schindler's List. And in the movie, Itzhak Stern is the primary character, but that was actually an amalgamation of Mia Tech-Kemper and Itzhak Stern. So his story didn't get told in the movie, and this is how he actually helped keep the camp open so that the inmates weren't sent to an extermination camp, and he actually helped develop the list with Schindler so that their lives were saved. The other book is Isaac's Torah by Angel Wagenstein. He's a Bulgarian author. We published his last book, Farewell Shanghai, which was a chronicle of the Jews who fled to Shanghai during World War II. It was the last open port, and they ended up actually, when the Japanese and the Germans, being put into a ghetto there, and it's, follows 5 characters. This book also takes place during World War II, and it's a rambling story of a Jewish man who gets caught up in the war, and, essentially is just brimming with wonderful Jewish jokes, and it's a pleasure to read. It's heartfelt, it's beautifully written, and funny at the same time.
I'm Catherine Mitchell, and I handle the rights and special sales at Tundra. The book Goodbye Marianne by Irene Watts was originally published as a novel in about 1999, and it was the first in a trilogy describing events based on Irene's own life. She was born in Berlin and was on the first Kindertransport heading out of Berlin in 1938. This novel did really, really well. And then Catherine Shoemaker came to her, and they know each other, and is an illustrator, and said, I think this would make a great graphic novel. What I think is interesting is that Irene's drama and theatrical background, and this has been performed as a play and so on, is fascinating because then the graphic novel, of course, with her adapting it for graphic novel format, and with Catherine Shoemaker's illustrations. Well, this came to us, and I think we were thinking, wow, how would one illustrate and put it into graphic form, and is that the format, and is this a subject matter for this age group? And we thought this could be interesting, and it was particularly of interest, of course, that Irene herself wanted to do this. And so the two of them are already in preparation on doing the second book, which takes place in England, where they of course landed, called Remember Me. So we're really, really enthusiastic.
Hi, this is Terry Borzamato from Holiday House. It's coming in 2009, so it's a little ways out, but Susan Goldman Rubin is doing a new picture book, and this is the Anne Frank story, how Simon Wiesenthal proved it true. And there was a period when folks weren't quite believing the Anne Frank story, and Simon said, if I can find the soldier who arrested Anne Frank, would you believe us now? And so that is this story. And it's a wonderful picture book, and it'll be coming in 2009 from Holiday House, so please look for it, and we're very proud and pleased to be publishing that as well.
And then you said the illustrator was the same as the flag with 56 stars?
Yes, that's Bill Farnsworth, and it's the illustrator of the flag with 56 stars.
I'm Jacob Schroeder from Academy Chicago Publishers. One of our unique fall titles is Album of the Damned, Snapshots from the Third Reich. And it's a collection of unique photographs that just show ordinary people, but yet it's under the understanding that they did such extraordinary, horrific things where during the day they're killing people, but at night they're just regular people going to their family. And it begs the question of what Hannah Arendt said about the banality of evil. How can such horrific, historic things happen out of just such normal people? And it also brings a historical aspect of how did these Nazis pretty much document everything? They really innovated photography, they innovated film, they innovated microphones of how they just documented everything. And now it's finally becoming released and open to the public.
Right. When I glance through these pictures, it's like they're just taking fun snapshots, messing around, putting the Nazi uniform hat on a baby, or pretending that they're attacking each other as a joke and they're all laughing.
Well, yeah, there's a wonderful snapshot of a Nazi soldier on the top of a Lenin statue, and he's holding his nose like he's honking it like a clown.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of photos like that, and they're joking around. There's one of the most powerful ones are that ones with dogs. They just have dogs, and they're treating them so humanely, and you see them just playing fetch with them, and it's like, how do you...
So they're killing people, but they're coochie-cooing their sweet little puppy dogs.
When do they cross the line of, petting a dog, but then shooting someone in the face? And it's very extreme.
So along with the photographs, does it kind of try to psychologically examine this gift?
Exactly. I mean, a lot of the text gives a analysis of each photograph, and then it gives a historical record of... some of them are taken, you can see that, well, it's in Paris, and then the text will explain, well, so-and-so many people died, they came here and destroyed everything, and so it really gives you a good reflection about the photographs.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Hi, my name is Lindsay Chall, and I'm from Lerner Publishing Group. I'd like to tell you a little bit about Angel Girl. It's new for Fall 08, and it will be available this summer. It's written by author Lori Freeman, and it's illustrated by Ofer Ahmet. And it's a remarkable true story based on the true story of Herman Rosenblatt. And Herman was in a concentration camp as an 11-year-old boy, and he was barely surviving. And every day he would go to this fence, and there was this little girl on the other side of the fence, and she would throw him an apple or a piece of bread or something to sustain him in the concentration camp every single day. And finally, he was liberated from the camp, and on the last day he was in the camp, the girl came to the fence with an apple, and he said, "Please, don't come back here. It's dangerous. Thank you so much. You've kept me alive. You are my angel girl." And after about 20 years, he had actually moved to the United States, and he was set up on a blind date, and he was talking to this girl about, where they were during the war, and she said, "Actually, I had false papers, but I lived next to a concentration camp with my family. And I went to a fence every day, and I gave this little boy an apple." And Herman said, "Well, what did the little boy look like?" And she described Herman to a T, and he said, "And did he call you his angel girl?" And she said, "Yes." And he said, "You are my angel girl." Aww. And he actually proposed the next day. Aww. And today is Sunday, June 1st, and they are actually celebrating their 50th wedding anniversary today in Miami, Florida.
Oh, that is so sweet.
And the picture book is amazing. It's a very chilling story, and the thing that's really neat about it is a Holocaust story, but it's all about hope and the strength of the human spirit, and that's something that you really don't get a lot of times with Holocaust books. So it shows that there was some hope, and there were not a lot of good things that came out of it, but this is one amazing story that it just gives people the chills. And so if you would like to pick up a copy, I highly recommend Angel Girl by Lori Freeman.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so I'm Alex Block from the Jewish Publication Society, and so we are publishing a book called An Introduction to Islam for Jews, which is a book that is a little less ethnocentric than it sounds. It's meant for, it really is an all-encompassing introduction to Islam, not from the Jewish perspective, but for Jews in the sense of what is interesting to Jews. So, Ruben said that in his introduction that it's a sensitive book. That he really is looking at it from all perspectives in a way that hopefully is well-rounded and not only introduces Islam to Jews, but also maybe a little bit more Judaism to Jews as well. Huh. So we're really, really looking forward to what this will do, and it's a great contribution for us. We couldn't be happier with it.
Now, how does he know so much about Islam? Where's his background?
He is a professor at, I believe, Hebrew Union College. He travels extensively. Actually, as we speak, he's in Jordan. His credentials are way beyond my grasps. I mean, he definitely is the person who should have written this book.
Will he be doing a companion book of Judaism for
he already has written that book.
Oh,
yeah, he wrote that book previously.
Okay.
An Introduction to Judaism for Muslims. Right.
What kind of reception has that gotten among Muslim readers?
You know what? I believe pretty well. Obviously, well enough that we would want to take on this book. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Very cool. Are there any other really exciting things that you want to tell me about from JPS
well,
right now?
we have a book coming out called From Krakow to Krypton, which is a history of Jews and comics. And it is written by Ari Kaplan with a foreword by Harvey Pekar and J.T. Waldman. It's the 70th anniversary of Superman this year, so it really ties in well. Every single superhero is a Jew.
Right.
So,
at heart, if not.
At heart, right. So we're looking forward to that as well. Our fall list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure.
I schlepped up and down every aisle at Book Expo, but I'm sure I still missed a few Jewish books. If you know about other brand new or forthcoming titles that you didn't hear about in today's episode, please post a comment on our website at bookoflifepodcast.com or email me at bookoflifepodcast@gmail.com. The Book of Life is supported in part by the Association of Jewish Libraries, tending the tree of knowledge and promoting Jewish reading by supporting Judaic libraries and librarians. Visit them on the web at jewishlibraries.org. Our background music is provided by the Freilach Makers Klezmer String Band from Sacramento, California, whose CDs feature upbeat music from Ashkenazic and Sephardic traditions with Brazilian, Gypsy, and Celtic influences. Borrow their CDs at the Feldman Library or buy your own copies at freilachmakers.com. To download episodes of the Book of Life podcast, visit us on the web at bookoflifepodcast.com. Links to the books mentioned on the show are available on this website. You can also hear the latest episode by phone. Just call 916-313-3820. Thanks for listening and happy reading.